Hello and welcome to On the Corner, the official podcast of pitcherlist.com. I'm your host, Eric Samulski, joined, as always, by the man himself, the creator, Nick Pollack. Nick, how you doing?
What is
I
happening?
love the keyboard clacking. It's just such a warming, heartwarming sound.
Yeah, it's it's always there. And I was in Cape Cod last week, and I'm really happy to be back in my lovely work station for 2 weeks because I'm going off to Austria for a wedding, and that's gonna be something. We gotta figure that one out. But yes, we have like no movement this week. It's gonna be very boring.
You'll
this
record
episode
from abroad because why not?
Yeah, of course.
Who you are.
But yeah, it's very boring this week, but we still got to talk about it, so we got to do it, Eric.
Listen, even the boring stuff is useful stuff, people. Boring stuff is useful stuff. There's a whole Bluey episode about that, by the way.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. Cannot wait.
So I usually take my themes from things that have happened in my life, but this one is like pseudo about something that happened in my life because I saw the new Superman movie over the weekend, and it was pretty solid. Nice. And so tiers are just going to be superheroes.
Oh man.
Or comic book characters.
I did Batman before.
I think we did duos, and you did.
Oh yeah, okay, cool. So superheroes, let's go.
Superheroes or comic book characters, if you want to just not have to focus so much on the idea of a superhero, which is fine. Tier number 1 starts with starting pitcher number 1, Tarik Skubal. Number 2, Zach Wheeler. Number 3, Garrett Crochet. Number 4, Paul Skeens. Number 5, Jacob deGrom. What's this tier called, and why is it called that?
I mean, all right, let's just get Batman out of the way. He's always there. He's great. He's the moneymaker for DC, and he's the moneymaker for your teams.
Funny that you went Batman, who has no superpowers whatsoever.
I know, but I'm talking about who are the ones that everyone just wants all the time. It's that
true.
Yeah.
And then I'll just use this time to make a small rant, which is just, please, for the love of all baseball discourse, just don't engage in this. Where's Tarik Skubal going to sign after the 2027 fantasy baseball?
Is that what people are doing?
Yeah, well, ESPN had them on Sunday Night Baseball, and all they talked about is where Skubal was going to sign, and Buster Olney had a whole thing about he's going to get $400 million. Is it going to be with the Dodgers, the Mets, or the Yankees? And it's like his current team is the best team in baseball right now. He's not going to be a free agent until 2027. Like, there are 9 teams in the AL that are currently vying for a playoff spot. Let's just enjoy baseball as it is. And maybe the Tigers will lock him up to an extension. Who knows? Like, let's just stop talking about what's going to be Skubal 2 years from now and just enjoy Skubal and the Tigers right now. I just hate it. Stop.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah. Like I saw the other day they were talking about baseball highlights, and the next thing they did is like the top 10 wide receivers. And I'm like, what? We're not there yet. We're not even there yet.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I whatever. That's dumb. And I'm just really happy for Detroit right now. Hopefully they make a very good run.
I should just quickly mention number 4 and number 5. There are some people that have some innings concerns about Skeens and deGrom. The Pirates have come out and said they are going to kind of like manage Skeens' innings the rest of the way. At what point will that, or does that not factor into how you're ranking those two guys?
We do this all the time every year of just, this guy's going to be limited, so we don't like this or that. And essentially when it comes down to September, which is, oh my gosh, it is so hard, Eric. It is the most painful thing I do every year is try to rank these guys when it's based on how many starts they have left.
Yeah.
And I hate this game. It's my least favorite game. Also, because a lot of starters, they just kind of pitch throughout anyway. Teams say this. I mean, remember Clay Holmes 2 weeks ago? Oh yeah, we're going to limit him and we're going to have Shaman and everything. He's gone at least 5 innings and 2 starts straight now. So I'm just,
maybe you
got to get to your head-to-head playoffs. You got to get there. Don't do anything silly right now. I'm happy Jacob deGrom is healthy. Like, who knows what all this situation will be in a month. So I'm just not touching it yet.
A new guy leads off tier number 2. It's number 6, Joe Ryan. 2 first names. Number 7, Max Fried. Number 8, Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Number 9, Brian Woo. Number 10, Hunter Brown. Number 11, Robbie Ray. 2 first names. Number 12, Carlos Rodon. Number 13, Framber Valdez. What's this tier called, and why is it called that?
All right, fine. Let's just get Superman out of the way then, right? I mean, it's just like, they're both aces, but it's like, you know what? I'd just rather hang out with Batman. Robbie Ray and Joe Ryan is pretty funny as the two first names. As Max Fried is the third one of like, maybe you can throw in Carlos Rodon of the guys in the preseason. I think you and I were both like, hey, cool. These are our value aces to target among the masses. Yep. And Joe Ryan, honestly, is just pitching out of his mind. Yes, it was rocky road over the weekend and stuff, but honestly, it's a 2.63 ERA and a 0.9 whip and a 29% K rate across 116 innings with 10 wins already. Mm-hmm. It's pretty fantastic, and it's hard not to put him into the top tier, but he has not earned the same volume per start as many of the others. So fine, but he definitely deserved to be at the very top of it.
Yeah. And for the record, I don't think he's being moved. I know his name is coming up. I just don't think it's going to happen. And for fantasy purposes, it wouldn't matter anyway. He would still be the same dude. I love that we mentioned those guys in the preseason. I wish I didn't have Michael King on like 75% of my teams over those guys, but that's just the roll of the dice.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
Tier number 3 starts off with number 14, Tyler Glasnow. Number 15, Logan Gilbert, 2 first names. Number 16, Jacob Mizorowski. Number 17, Shota Imanaga. Number 18, Mackenzie Gore. What's this? Technically 2 first names, Gore Vidal. What's this tier called, and why is it called that?
I'm going to call this one the Wolverine tier. Because, yeah, it is an ace, but let's be honest, he's a little volatile, that guy. You know, he's not as dependable. He kind of does his own thing, and it's really annoying, but he's always around. He's immortal. Say for Logan, whatever that was. But, you know,
it's a great movie.
These guys have been here hinting at like Mackenzie Gore for a while. And I mean, you think that that Logan McGill, oh my gosh, Logan Gilbert can do this. I'm back from vacation. We think that he should be that ace, but he hasn't really performed like one, even though he had 9 strikeouts in his last game. It wasn't him at his best ability. So we're still kind of waiting and hoping that he does become that sturdy guy you can rely on every single time.
We get a Gilbert Mizorowski showdown this week, don't we?
Oh my gosh. I put out a tweet. It was, I think, the first time I've seen 15 feet combined extension among 2 starters. I've never seen that before. I can't wait. It's gonna be great.
It's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. I'm curious, you know, what did you we've now had 2 starts from Glasnow back off the IL. Just generally speaking, what are you seeing? I mean, obviously they've both been against Milwaukee, but Milwaukee has been red hot, and he's allowed just 1 earned run in 11 innings. What do you see from Glasnow so far?
Well, the last start was actually really interesting, where he didn't really have his slider and his curveball, but Glasnow is throwing sinkers now. Oh, sinkers are cool with Tyler Glasnow as a guy who has not had a whiffable 4-seamer, really not like the upper echelons of it, really,
right?
And needs strikes to set up the curveball and the slider. The sinker is a great idea, especially for an extension boy who's going to make it even harder to distinguish between the two. It's going to likely reduce hard contact against right-handers with it. So I'm a huge fan of that. Just get the slider back. That slider was the one that really took him into the land of the aces back in the day, and he needs to get that one back.
Multiple fastball variations, people. Just it's coming. Everybody likes it.
So good.
Everybody's talking about it. Moving on to tier number 4. Starts with number 19, Nathan Eovaldi. Number 20, George Kirby, 2 first names. Number 21, Ranger Suarez. Number 22, Logan Webb. Number 23, Christopher Sanchez. Number 24, Freddie Peralta. Number 25, Nick Pivetta. Number 26, Seth Lugo. Number 27, Kodai Senga. Number 28, Sonny Gray, 2 first names. Number 29, Andrew Abbott. What's this tier called? Why is it called that?
And I'm rubbing off on you. Okay, this is do not get into my habit of wrong words. I would say these are the guys that are just regulars in your neighborhood, right? Who are always friendly with you, who's always just there to swing on by and help out. As your Hollies, that would be, of course, Spider-Man. And I feel like I'm saying this wrong as I even say it out loud, because Spider-Man is a term on pitcher list, and these are Hollies. And Spider-Man goes to the number 1, Toby. And I'm sorry. I apologize to everyone. I got it wrong. However, I guess I got to commit to it now. So tier 4 is that, because they're just so friendly and so reliable and so good for you. Okay, if you're wondering why Spider-Man is a Toby, it's the number one Tobey Maguire. That's what the best Toby is every year. So I guess they're trying to be this.
It's okay. It was a good analogy. It made total sense. I appreciated it. I think that Seth Lugo might be the best starting pitcher moved at the deadline.
Oh, that's interesting. Oh, is it a free agency season?
Free agent at the end of the year.
Oh yeah, he's got
a player option that he will almost assuredly decline. And the Royals are probably not going to afford him in free agency if he declines his player option. And so I could see it. I think Jeff Passan had an article today that gave him a 50% chance of being traded. And so, yeah, I again, home park might be interesting for Lugo, depending on where he goes. Kauffman Stadium is a very nice place to pitch. But, could see Lugo on like the Cubs, back with the Mets, maybe per se. Could be fun.
Now, if the Rangers have a terrible week, you could see something like Nathan Eovaldi go too.
Yep. Yeah, very true. Eovaldi, the Red Sox, apparently his decision in the offseason was Rangers or Red Sox. They were high on him. They might try and get him back. Could be an interesting situation there.
And I will say it's been a very quiet trade deadline so far. I mean, we only have about 10 days left. So there are a lot of teams that are in they're trying to figure out where they stand in it. Obviously, you have a team like the Phillies versus the Rockies, fine. But there are a lot of those that are like, okay, hey, we're the Rays at 52 and 48. Like, how aggressive are you going to be with this? Same with the Reds at 52 and 48. Are the Diamondbacks, and the Diamondbacks seem like they're going to be selling. The Giants are right around there. It's very interesting. We're going to see how teams go one way or the other. And, the Twins are 48 and 51. They are not going to get
to the Rockies.
They're not going to likely get the wild card. The Guardians are 11 games back from the Tigers, 48 and 50. You can't just have that at the trade deadline in the Central anymore.
Yeah.
So
there are a lot of teams that are like 4 or 5 games out of the wild card in the AL East, where this week will determine a lot of like where they go. And so that could be an interesting situation. There's a pitcher we'll talk about later who I think could be on the move. But yeah, an interesting situation to talk about. It's nice having Kodai Senga back. He looks good. And most of these guys we're pretty happy about them. But I did want to ask you about somebody in the next tier, so we'll jump right to that.
Well, hold on. There are two that fell from previous tiers. It's Ranger Suarez and Logan Webb. And Ranger Suarez fell because I was actually worried about this, where he's been on this lovely stretch and rhythm, and yet 9 days of a break for between the All-Star break, the All-Star break in the middle of it, and he looked bad. This is actually the first bad start I saw of Ranger Suarez. I'm not saying that it's a death sentence. He's at 21, but it could be the start of the decline, as we routinely do see from Ranger Suarez after a phenomenal stretch. And Logan Webb, it's more of the same. It was change up sinker again because the sweeper and the cutter weren't doing enough. And we don't want sinker change up Logan Webb. We want everything working in tandem. So he's not an ace anymore, guys. He's all the way down in tier 4.
So here's my question for you. In 2023, I believe, because I wrote about this the other day, 2023, it was a 4.57 ERA after the All-Star break for Ranger Suarez. Last year, that ERA after the All-Star break was over 5. At any point, do you care about that? Because we do the whole hey, Luis Castillo starts the year off and he struggles, and then he kind of slowly starts to figure it out. And we've kind of accepted that as just something that happens. Do we kind of accept that Ranger Suarez slows down as the year goes on, or is it still just too small of a sample to say that?
Well, okay. So for Ranger Suarez in 2023, he started off late, and he had a good run, and then all of a sudden he got hurt, I believe, or no, it was actually just pretty much right at July. I was like, all right, I'm good. And then 2024, he was doing great, and we were trying to tell everybody, guys, this will not last. It will not last. And then he got hurt. That's the year he got hurt, and it really displaced him, right?
True.
So that, it's a little bit tougher to understand, what is it that displaces him and gets him off of his feel. But I do believe that it is a rhythm thing. It is very much of hey, cool, I'm locating that cutter inside, that changeup away, the sinker away to right-handers really effectively. And when he gets into that, it works. When he doesn't have that, it goes terribly. So That's really what we normally see from him. And yeah, this could be the start of that.
Yeah. It would be sad to see, but at some point I think we have to kind of like accommodate for that kind of stuff or accept that kind of stuff. Team number 5 starts at number 30, Spencer Strider. Number 31, Dylan Cease. Number 32, Yuri Perez. And number 33, Chase Burns. What's this tier called? Why is it called that?
This one's the Hulk because you just want him to show up, but come on, you don't know if he's going to be there.
Because he might just still be Bruce Banner and not want to show up.
Yeah, it's, he's like, come on, Hulk, we need you. It's like, I can't do it. And you know how good he is. Oh, man. When he's good, he's as good as anyone. But might just get a weak human scientist, There's some really strong scientists. I don't want to say, I'm just saying, it's not a super.
Can't have that weak human scientist. Dylan Cease is interesting. I wrote an article over the break about players that I expected to have much more valuable second halves than first halves. I included Dylan Cease. You and Paul Sporer talked about it on an episode of The Craft. It seemed pretty low-hanging fruit to look at what Dylan Cease did and say, hey, the second half is going to be better than this. And he came out on Friday, 5 1/3 shutout, 4 hits, 10 strikeouts against, the Nationals offense that isn't tremendous, but they do have a lot of lefties, and that has at times been an issue for him. And I felt like it was a pretty solid performance for Cease first game out.
Well, I mean, this is Dylan Cease, right? And I will say having just one side of the plate he needs to deal with is a benefit to him because we actually see most of the time that he gets one correct and one not. Like he struggles either lefties in a game or righties in the game. And the fact it was all lefties, he was able to get his 4-seamer up and his slider down, place on blueprint. He did it super well. In past years, I've actually seen more struggles with Cease against lefties of where the 4-seamer sits more in the middle of the plate and the slider isn't able to steal enough strikes. But he's been more successful with that this year than against right-handers. So it was kind of a gift almost that it was a Nationals here for him to cruise with that approach. So, I mean, look, at the end of the day, it's Dylan Cease. This is who he is, he's going to have these amazing starts to make you feel like he's the best pitcher in baseball. And then he's, I'm sure, going to have some stumbles too, but he's the same guy. And there really isn't much that's any different here.
Yeah. If you look at Spencer Strider's stat line from the Yankees start, 6 shutout innings, 3 hits, 8 strikeouts, 3 walks, you would be over the moon. But if you read your SP roundup, you might come away a little bit more muted in terms of your excitement.
Spencer Strider is a great slider. Yeah, all right. It's great. Cool. PLV actually hates it, by the way, which is really annoying because I took it in the PLV draft at the beginning of the year. Regardless, the 4-seamer is not the old 4-seamer, and it's just the slider. And that terrifies me. I feel like it's so precarious. Yeah. And there's this idea that, it's Spencer Strider. He's still really great with everything he does. The 4-seamer is not nearly as effective. He cannot get away with heaters down the pipe like he used to. And it's really just overwhelming sliders, which is good. And I'm happy. And he's at 30. I'm saying you should be starting him and everything, but it's not top 20, top 15 demanding success each time. He's going to fight for it every start. And maybe he does the rest of the way. It's just not the same kind of guy.
Yeah. Maybe, and again, I assume it'll click, maybe late this year, maybe next 2026, whatever it is. But, this is the coming off multiple elbow surgeries, and these are kind of the ramifications of some of that. And maybe it doesn't come back the way it used to.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
We won't know for sure. Tier number 6 has a bunch of interesting lefties in here, and then somebody who you'd think is a lefty based on his profile. Starts at number 34, Nick Lodolo. Number 35, Chris Bubich. Number 36, Matthew Boyd, 2 first names. Number 37, Noah Cameron, 2 first names. Number 38, Merrill Kelly, 2 first names. What's this tier called? Why is it called that?
Matthew Boyd is 2 first names?
Boyd Holbrook.
B-O-Y-D?
Yeah.
Who's Boyd Holbrook?
How dare you?
Who is that?
It's an actor.
Okay, you're acting suspicious right now.
Boyd Holbrook was in Narcos. He was in A Complete Unknown, the Timothée Chalamet Bob Dylan movie.
Oh, didn't see it.
Oh, sorry. Wikipedia tells me his real name is Robert Boyd Holbrook. So I guess He goes by Boyd,
probably a maiden name that was his middle name. So that's not a first name. Keep going.
I'll give not a first name.
Oh my gosh! Wow. Sorry, we can trust Matthew Boyd, guys. Okay.
Sorry,
one first name. We are fine. This is another Holly tier. So of course you got to think about who is the hey, I got this. Don't worry about anything kind of superhero. Well, of course, that would be Captain America. Come on, he's just like, he's not exciting. He's not the electric, oh my gosh. He's like, hey, all right, we're going to go out there. We're going to do what we need to do. Got this. And maybe, you know what? At some point, he's like, hey, I've had a good time. I'm just going to go grow old with my sweetheart. Bye-bye. That's your Holly tier.
Was very sweet of him to go grow old with his sweetheart. Yeah. Matthew Boyd, let's talk about him. I found it interesting that his turn to start would have been over this weekend. They decided not to. I do think this is a little bit of innings management from the Cubs, which I think we will start to see, considering, he has currently thrown 111 and 2/3 innings, which is more than he's thrown in the last 3 seasons combined.
Well, okay. So to that point, he got Tommy John, I believe, 2023 going to 24. And and if you think about it this way, of like Tarek Skubal almost, yeah, it was 8 starts versus I believe it was around like 12 or so for Skubal the previous year, but Skubal wasn't held back in his return from it, and I feel that at his age, Matthew Boyd is 34.
I don't think they'll hold him back per se because, well, first of all, they don't have options in the starting rotation to do that.
Sure.
But I think if there are opportunities for them to push him a day, have him, whatever, things like not have him pitch the first weekend out of the All-Star break, things like that. I think you'll start to see that, because I also, and again, maybe I'm reading too far into that, but I think there were also moments in the starts, like in early July, where we were starting to see like, okay, the results were still really good. The command maybe wasn't as good as it had been earlier in the year. Maybe it seemed like he was fatigued a little bit. Who knows? I mean, there are ebbs and flows over the course of an entire season.
Sure.
But it wouldn't be shocking for some fatigue to set in when you're pitching a workload that your body has not pitched.
No, absolutely.
Since, 2019.
If the Cubs were to do any sort of workload management for any of their starters, I would think it would be Cade Horton first before Boyd. And I would say also the arsenal of Boyd is not as refined and incredible as many others, where it's really fastballs at like 93 upstairs, which aren't that great, but he commands it. And the changeup is underneath it. And yeah, there is a slider that he can do against lefties. It's not the old slider they used to use to demolish right-handers. It can help at times, but it's really just fastball change. And those starts in the past that we've seen him not really succeed, it's usually because there isn't much more depth to it. Right. Is what I have been attributing it to. But maybe, I haven't really put credence into the lack of workload from 2024 for Matthew Boyd affecting this season. I gotta think that the Cubs are actually going to be leaning on this, and maybe they go and get 2 starters, so then they can essentially have a 6-man and keep giving a guy a skipped start or so. I'm curious how that works out.
And I could be reading it too much. I don't think the Cubs are going to manage his workload in the sense that like you're going to be impacted for fantasy, other than like, if there's a way for them to give him an extra day, they might give him an extra day. I'm thinking about it. And again, I'm not suggesting people do anything in fantasy, like trade him away or cut him or anything stupid like that. I'm just saying it wouldn't surprise me if we see some iffy command performances in the second half of the year as he maybe starts to tire a little bit. Sure. or wear down a little bit. And yes, I think Cade Horton could be out of the rotation if they add multiple arms, because again, like he's been inconsistent and coming off an injury and is a rookie and all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
Just something to keep an eye on, not something I think is a huge issue. Noah Cameron, we've been talking for months about, is he going to stay in the rotation? And not only is Cole Reagan still hurt, but now Michael Lorenzen went on the IL. And so, Noah Cameron might be here to stay for the entire rest of the year. We don't really know. And he's
for the rest of his career. Yes.
I'm a little nervous about the Cubs start. I'm not going to lie.
Of course.
But, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. And there's also Merrill Kelly, who might actually be the latest in Chicago. That's a perfect fit for him because he's been doing well and one of the more underappreciated starters, I think, for fantasy managers this year without a good defense behind him. And the Cubs have a fantastic one.
I think it's all but a lock, in my opinion, that Merrill Kelly is pitching somewhere else.
Yes, and the Cubs seem like a great fit.
So we'll see where that goes. We've got some more starting pitchers to talk about, but we're going to do that after this break. We'll move on to tier number 7. Starts at number 39, Jesus Luzardo. Number 40, Brandon Woodruff. Number 41, Jack Flaherty. Number 42, Sean Manaea. Number 43, Ryan Pepiot. Number 44, Shane Baz. Number 45, Luis Castillo. What's this tier called? Why is it called that?
Oh, man, I have so many things I could do here. Okay, I am going to go with a curveball here. I'm going to go with John Cena. Because boy, is he electric. But he is a superhero to so many, as he visits so many children's hospitals and does so many great things. So I'm going with that one.
That's fair because John Cena plays a superhero on TV. So that's
there you go.
It works. I want to talk to you about Sean Manaea. He is up 7 spots here to number 42. We saw another abbreviated outing, 69 pitches in 4 innings. I'm only bringing it up here because he was at 65 pitches the start before the break. So the Mets seem to be keeping him around 70 pitches. It was a good outing against the Reds. 4 innings, 1 hit, 1 run, 6 strikeouts. So he didn't struggle. He could have looked like he could have gone more pitches. I think we have to kind of assume that he's going to be in this 5-inning range for a little bit longer, at least.
I don't know. I think it's honestly, I would say probably 1 more start if it is, because Sean Manaea has to get built up, and the Mets are going to need him a lot in August and September. They're trying to secure the NL East. They're trying to ensure that they have a good standing for themselves for the playoffs. And already seeing 2 starts like this, we generally see it after 3 or so that they really get going and push 80, 85 pitches. And Manaea is looking fantastic with his fastball. So I have a 42 here. And this is why he's a cherry bomb, just because of the playing time question, but you might see him into tier 6 pretty soon.
I found it interesting that there has not yet been a single sinker thrown in 2 starts. If StatCast classification is
Manaea has pretty much only thrown 1 fastball, I think. I don't know, maybe not. It's just always been like, oh, is it a 4-seamer? Oh, is it a sinker? It's a it's a weird thing. A lot of these slinging lefties do this.
Yeah. I might have to dig into just the movement profile on that to see just how accurate that is, because it feels off to me. But yeah, listen, if you are able to get Sean Manaea in a league where people might be concerned about the pitch count, he looks really good right now. So I'd be hoping to pounce. On your episode of The Craft, where you had Paul Sporer on there, you guys talked in regards to Shane Baz about the home park environment and some concerns about the run environment, home runs, etc. Ryan Pepiot struggled a little bit with the long ball the other day. He doesn't pitch at home in his next start, but he pitches in Cincinnati, so that's not exactly a better spot for home runs. But are home runs an issue for Pepiot?
Yeah, home runs are weird. They're one of the noisiest stats out there. And honestly, I think watching this one with Pepiot, his changeup allowed 2 of them to lefties. He allowed a home run to a righty on a 96-mile-per-hour fastball down. And all these pitches were not pitches that he really wanted to throw. It was a 3-2 changeup that was floated in the middle of the plate too, right? Mm-hmm. So I see this more as actually a product of, hey, Pepiot, your cutter and your slider, which are supposed to be those nullifiers for the fastball and the changeup, wasn't really there. So I think this is something that is more a product of his own development inside of his arsenal than it is necessarily he's just doomed to be a massive home run problem and the ERA is going to be high all the time. I expected to actually lower him more in this one. And you can maybe say that I kind of did because I did a whole shift of tier 8, tier 9 and whatnot. But yeah, I just kind of see Pepio as a step above strikeout wise, with still the potential to get a much better feel with that cutter specifically. So I have both him in Boz there, 43, 44. I see them very similarly with a really good fastball, a great secondary pitch, and then a developing number 3 in that cutter.
Yep. And I'm still holding on to hope about Boz. Still keeping the faith. Luis Castillo up 5 spots here. Has kind of settled into just being like a boring veteran, but he looks good. He's pitching fine. There's no, not really. He's not an ace anymore, but you're not upset.
Yeah, it's precarious because the 4-seamer command is as good as I've ever seen. And if it isn't, then everything falls apart because the slider and the changeup are just not as good as they used to be. But he's getting so many outs with that 4-seamer upstairs, and also having some of those sinkers to right-handers has worked. So I'm at the point of saying, all right, I know that you are definitely good in Seattle right now, and you're generally okay, I think, on the road, depending on the matchup and all. So fine. I'm just going to generally throw you out there. And that's just where we are at the moment with Luis Castillo.
I like a lot of these pitchers in tier 8. Starts with number 46, Luke Giolito, number 47, Trevor Rogers, number 48, Drew Rasmussen, number 49, Reese Olson, number 50, Landon Rupp, and number 51, David Peterson. What's this tier called, and why is it called that?
This tier is called, oh man, I had one, and I'm like forgetting all superheroes now. What is a superhero? All right, we're going to go with Mr. Incredible, because he's a dad. And I feel like this is the dad tier. All right. This is the dad tier of like, hey, I'm getting the job done. I'm there. But you know what? When you go throughout your life, you're going to have so many things that are exciting. I'm going to be kind of getting older, and like, you're going to wonder like how much can he do actually? But this is, they feel like at times like you're Mr. Incredible. Like Trevor Rogers, you weren't supposed to do this. Yeah. This is amazing. This is so great. So
what do you think about what he's doing?
I think it's, I think we've seen better starts than what we just saw. So some games he has 94 and his slider working. And what I just saw was 92 with a good changeup, and the slider was not really present. He had some sweepers for called strikes that were all right. But it's working, and the changeup is getting lots of outs, and that's really cool. He's keeping that down and generally doing Blake Snell blueprint with the fastball and the changeup. So Trevor Rogers is just like, all right, I am now the Baltimore ace, because who's Grayson Rodriguez? And I'm excited for Kyle Bradish to eventually come back, because he's throwing, I believe, his first rehab start this week.
First rehab start this week. It'll be probably like late August. I think Bradish might get like the 2024 Jacob deGrom situation.
Where he makes like 3 starts and then all of a sudden we like him for next year. Yeah. But Trevor Rogers, if I'm the Orioles, I trade him, because I feel like a lot of people want Trevor Rogers at this moment. And I don't know how sustainable this is for 2026. But right now it looks like he's in a better groove. So fine. Here you are at 47. And it's hard to put him any higher. I didn't actually think I would put him this high. But then again, like Drew Rasmussen, okay, you have 5 innings. They're good innings, but they're just 5. Reese Olson isn't super there yet. I mean, it was much better over the weekend, but it's not absurdly good sliders and changeups, and he still throws a little bit too many hittable fastballs to me. Landon Roop isn't a finished product, but he is better with his changeup. He just lost curveball whiffs, and David Peterson is still strange to me, even though he has like about 7 feet of extension. He sometimes can't locate his 4-seamer and sinker, and sometimes the slider is there, and sometimes it's not, and it's a little weird. He's a bit of a whip killer. So I said, fine. Trevor Rogers, 47. That's okay.
I was going to ask you about Reese Olson, but you highlighted him, 3rd start off the IL. I'll just use this time to mention some breaking news, which isn't relevant to the list, but is relevant to starting pitchers. The Tigers have announced that their starting pitching prospect, Troy Melton, is going to make his big league debut on Wednesday against the Pirates.
Oh my gosh.
Melton has a 2.99 ERA, 101 to 20 strikeout to walk ratio in 75 1/3 innings between AA and AAA. And listen, there is a spot. I mean, you and I both like Sawyer Gipson-Long. He is currently hurt and coming off injury. They haven't wanted to pitch him super deep in games. Keider Montero was scheduled to start Wednesday, but if Melton looks good against the Pirates, he could stick. And hey, Pirates, this is what you do with a starting pitching prospect. You call them up in a soft landing spot like you could have called up Bubba Chandler over the weekend against the White Sox, but whatever.
And I will be at the Met game. I'm so excited. It's at 12:30 on Wednesday,
hey,
and I will be.
I'll be at the Met game on Wednesday.
Oh, is that right? You're gonna? Yeah.
I'm working
with Rick Wolf and Glenn Colton.
Nice. I will. I'll message you. I'm going early to do some stories, get some.
Oh, nice. All right. Yeah, I'll be at the game. So with a few other people in the industry, as I mentioned.
Nice. I will be there. I'll come see you.
So we will have some sort of watch party here on Playback. So make sure you're there to all enjoy Troy Melton's MLB debut. If I were to put him on the list, which I will now because it's not published quite yet.
Oh yeah, fair.
I would put Troy. I have him inside of my stash list right now. I would have him probably around. I mean, the very minimum, like 70 or so, like 68, something like that. Where Quinn Priester is in tier 11. I could see myself putting it at like 62 if I wanted, where like Richard Fitz is.
Like the Fitz range, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, maybe I have Mize too low. I might actually put Mize up to 52. I feel like that's the real problem I'm having here. And I realize that Mize is really good. So what am I doing here?
I think Mize in the Landon Rupp category feels pretty correct.
Yeah, I'm going to do that before. And I apologize to everyone on Reddit. Not Reddit, I'm sorry. I posted the top 100 on Discord before it's published. That's one of the benefits I give to everyone with PO Plus and PO Pro. And as I do the notes in between that to this podcast, and I do the notes. So Mize is moving up to that tier at 52. And I'll have Melton at 62. Probably 61 ahead of Kikuchi.
Exciting to see these changes live. That tier that Nick is talking about that will have Troy Melton at one point starts with number 52, Yu Darvish. Number 53, Will Warren. Number 54, Cam Schlittler. Number 55, Grant Holmes. Number 56, Gavin Williams, 2 first names. Number 57, Emmett Sheehan. Number 58, Ryan Nelson, 2 first names. Number 59, Zebby Matthews, 2 first names. Number 60, Richard Fitz. Number 61, Yusei Kikuchi. What's this tier called and why is it called that?
This is the Flash because they're exciting, but they can be gone in a flash.
Like Cam Schlittler, who is dealing with a shoulder injury that I guess, or elbow injury that I guess the MRI came back okay.
It was arm soreness or it was bicep soreness. This is what I think I said was. He's supposed to pitch tomorrow.
Yeah, I am like crossing my fingers for the health of Cam Schlittler, and later we'll talk about Edward Cabrera. But it's just like, I just don't love, hey, he was supposed to start. He's not going to start because he's battling an injury, but it's actually not that big of an injury and he's going to pitch. And you're like, oh, okay, whatever. We'll see.
Well, at the very least, he's gotten a lot of rest since that start.
Yes.
And they're like, you know what? Let's not push it because you should be a big part of our second half. And look, he was sitting 97 plus in the minors. All of a sudden he was hurling 100-mile-per-hour pitches and stuff.
No, and I think of the Spencer Strellenbach thing where he was like, I pushed it too hard consistently. And I think it was John Legeza who published something in The Athletic maybe last year, early this year, talking about the idea of pitchers who sit too close to their max.
Oh yeah, that's yeah.
And that being like that being more of a barometer of potential injury than just like, hey, this guy throws hard. It's like,
actually, I want to give a quick shout out to Jeff Niveen, our lead developer here at Pitcher List, who talked about max effort as a stat about like 3-4 years ago with me.
Oh, nice.
And it was something that was kind of been on the back burner of like how often they sit the percentage of their pitches that are above or like at their average or above, or like what the velocity band is.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was a very interesting thing. We couldn't really afford to pursue it further at the time, but yeah, Jeff, you certainly had that idea. So
yeah,
props to you.
Kudos to you, Jeff, because I think that's a huge kind of inflection point here, and I'd love to keep looking into that. So that's really interesting to me. What's also really interesting to me, Nick, is that Gavin Williams absolutely shoved.
What a weird start, man.
It's just this journey we've been on with Gavin Williams this year is absurd.
I mean, did you see the roundup this morning? It was Journey Williams, like Bernie Williams, who also has an album called The Journey Within.
Beautiful.
It was unbelievable. Yeah, Gavin. Oh, okay, Eric. You know what? Like, it's a different Gavin again.
Right. This one was just like super breaking ball heavy. It was like the curve and sweeper just dominated. And then his primary fastball, if I'm remembering correctly, was the sinker.
Yes, he has a sinker now.
But that was the last
2 starts
fastball that he introduced. It's wild.
So his most thrown pitch was the curveball, which I think was 24 thrown. So it was like 27% usage or something, which had a 47% strike rate. Okay, which if you guys know good strike rates and stuff now, what we aim for with secondaries is 60%. That is bad. We don't want that. And when you see that, you think, oh man, he had like 3-4 walks or so. No, he used it more so for strikeouts and against lefties. And against lefties was really down. It was like a sub 40% strike rate for them. But then he had a cutter and a 4-seamer that just got outs above it. So fine. And then against right-handers, you have the sinker just like being like, here it is. That was a 90% strike rate. He just didn't care. And then the sweeper had 6/13 whiffs, like 13 thrown, 6 whiffs. It was bonkers. I don't normally see this at all from Gavin Williams. I hope that the sinker is here to stay. At the same time, I don't really love the idea of Gavin Williams with this in a vacuum mediocre sinker. It's 16 inches of horizontal movement, 95, but hey, it is 7 feet of extension now. But it's like not like well located inside or something, and favoring that over the 4-seamer, which he threw 4 times to right-handers. But I guess it worked because the sweeper was so consistent. But then again, the sweeper normally isn't consistent. So I don't know, Eric.
We have Gavin Williams with a true 5-pitch mix right now.
It's wild.
It's wild. I'm here for this journey. Thank you, Gavin, for bringing us on this journey. It's been tremendous.
3 in April. Okay.
Some names at the bottom we've talked about a bunch. Like, listen, EMMETT, SHEEHAN, young pitchers, especially guys who miss all of an entire season, are going to have some inconsistencies. He had an inconsistent start. He might have another against the Red Sox in Fenway. It's not a great spot. We'll see. Zebby Matthews, I mean, like 17 whiffs on 41 swings, I think, for Zebby in Coors. And 2 of the runs he allowed were inherited runners that scored on a homer that a reliever let up. He looked really good in AAA. I'm not letting one start in Coors, first start off the IL, a start where he had like a 40% whiff rate, throw me off of Zebby Matthews. Richard Fitz is here. It might be a rough start for Richard Fitz against the Phillies this week. I'm okay with that. I have him on the bench in a lot of places, but I like the talent, and I think there's very clearly a rotation spot for him unless the Red Sox go out and make a big move. And even then, like, Fitz has been pitching better than Walker Buehler. I don't think they'll keep him in the rotation over Buehler, but Fitz has been good. I mean, these are talented and inconsistent pitchers. I just wouldn't write them off because of one bad start.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, EMMETT SHEEHAN, I still think is legit. The slider is really what hurt him in that one. Ryan Nelson's 4-seamer is just so good. He's still figuring out what he's going to pair it with. And I love what you said about Fitz. Kikuchi's strange. He's at the very bottom of this. He just had a good strikeout outing, and actually some of the best command I've seen from him. But you don't really know. And I was debating between putting up to 61 or not. And I'm like, fine, you're going to want to jump on the Kikuchi train again. So, okay. Give it a shot, but who knows where we're going to get. And yeah, Zebby Matthews, like, that was a pretty good start for your first game back. I think it's going to be much better moving forward.
Agreed. A couple of these other pitchers are going to be better moving forward, but we'll get to those after this break. So tier number 10 starts with, at this point, number 62, Casey Mize. Number 63, Brian Bayo. Number 64, Cade Horton. Number 65, Michael Soroka. Number 66, Matthew Liberatore. Number 67, Michael Wacha. Number 68, Brady Singer. What's this tier called, and why is it called that?
Well, okay. So this is, you could say this is kind of the, the Toby tier, the Brown tier, right? And what is your thing that you enjoy the most? I would say in the mornings. That
Coffee?
is brown a bit. Well, sustainable more, a little bit more food. What would it be?
Toast?
Maybe powdered toast man would be a good
powdered toast man.
Oh boy, you never watched Ren and Stimpy.
Oh, I did, but I mean, like a long time ago.
Well, there you go. I'm pulling that one out. Powdered Toast Man is a superhero from Ren and Stimpy, and this is what that tier is.
You have some really good, like, just from out of nowhere.
Yeah, I got to keep you on your toes. You know, I don't phone it in, guys.
It's great. No, you're certainly amazing that you did that. Kate Horton looked pretty good against the Red Sox on Sunday. I thought that they would get to him a little bit because very left-handed heavy lineup, and he kept them at bay. Brian Bayo, you could not have started a game much worse than he did on Saturday. I guess, this kind of goes back to my thoughts on Bayo of like, he's raised his floor, but not really his ceiling right now. Is like, he still got through 6 innings in that game because he, with his cutter focus and, the sinker, the cutter, the 4-seamer, all of that, like, he can grind out a 6-inning start much better than before when that used to be like a 3 2/3 start and he was done.
Yeah.
And so, in your deeper formats, that's valuable.
To your credit, Eric, you were really banging the table about how he needs to attack, and then he's attacking now, and it has been a lot more consistent for just Red Sox fans as Bayo actually doesn't have those massive blow-up starts, and he's able to actually generate outs more effectively. So, yeah, I like that. I mean, it's a typical Toby. We saw Matthew Liberatore get skipped, by the way. I don't know how you feel about that. I've kind of thought of him more as like a decline as the season goes on, and it's not a big shock that Liberatore did get skipped, but at the same time, like, it's a very good defense in St. Louis, and he's benefited from that, and he will continue to as long as he's started.
Right, and he's better than Fetty and Michaelis, who are also in that rotation.
Oh,
and
boy.
So, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
I think we could probably move to tier 11. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So tier 11 starts at number 69, Quinn Priester, number 70, Edward Cabrera, number 71, Clay Holmes, number 72, Max Scherzer, number 73, Joey Cantillo, and number 74, Jacob Lopez. What's this tier called, and why is it called that?
This one is called Hancock because the beginning of that movie got you hyped. You were like, this is a good movie. But the end of it did not land. And I feel like that's how you might feel with a lot of these guys.
Talk to me a little bit about Joey Cantillo, because you and Sporer talked about him on The Craft. It seems like he is locked into a starting rotation spot, at least for the next month, because Luis L. Ortiz's investigation or him being placed on the restricted list
he's not pitching again this year
has been extended through August. So Cantillo should have a rotation spot for August. The swing and miss is certainly there. Is Cantillo somebody we should be like semi-excited about?
I mean, he's kind of like Matthew Boyne. A fastball that does better than you think with the velocity. A changeup that is very filthy. And a slider that is a step behind as well. He's also an extension boy. He's like 7.4 the last time I saw it. So I kind of think that Cantillo is a really fun one, especially for your points leagues and your deeper formats as well, where you need those, more volume. Cantillo should improve as he continues on here. So yeah, I'd be heavily considering Cantillo. At the same time, I don't really know if it's going to be beneficial in the short term as much. And you have like Max Scherzer, who's honestly doing far better than I think anyone really expected. The thumb injury that belabored him for the first 2 outings after the IL stint disappeared. And if it weren't the Yankees this week, I would be pursuing him heavily.
Yeah, he's got a 2-start week, I believe, and the PL projections are kind to him, but we'll see how that goes. They're also kind to Kevin Gausman, who has the same 2 starts, and it's like Yankees Tigers, which doesn't feel like something I want to attack with those guys, but but okay, we'll see how it goes. Cantillo, I'm kind of a fan of for the same thing, and it's wild to see. I can't believe that we are at a place where Cantillo is ranked above his teammate, who's here in tier number 12. And that tier starts with the number 75, Jose Soriano, number 76, Tanner Bybee, Number 77, Kumar Rocker. Number 78, Kevin Gossman. Number 79, Charlie Morton. Number 80, Mitch Keller. Number 81, Slade Ciccone. Number 82, Zach Littell. Number 83, Jose Barrios. And number 84, Adrian Hauser. What's this tier called and why is it called that?
I'm going to call this the Magneto tier because he is a superhero. And you don't really know what he's going to do. Is he on your side? Is he not on your side? Eventually, he isn't on your side. And that's probably what's going to be happening with all these guys. But, there's something magnetic about them.
What? Can you tell me how to figure out Jose Soriano?
I mean, it's pretty simple. Is he going to have his sinker working or not?
But there's no way to know. There's no way to know. Yeah. That's the Charlie Morton thing. We talked about Charlie Morton with the curveball. If he has a curveball working.
Well, last game. So it happens. So it goes.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. It's wild. Rocker up 22 spots for you. This kind of, I guess, just kind of takes him out of the streaming tier into this.
Yeah, he was at the very back end being like, I don't know if this will really ever work. I'm like, okay, fine. Maybe it will. Maybe the cutter and will have enough support essentially in the second half. Who knows?
Who does know? I still firmly believe Zach Littell's getting traded. It's textbook Rays move to trade a pending free agent to make sure they get something for him, especially when they have guys like Joe Boyle, Ian Seymour, who can just get into the rotation.
Oh, yeah, and Bailey Falter soon, yeah.
Bailey Falter, sure. Yeah, go for it. Tier number 13 starts with number 85, Tomoyuki Sugano, number 86, Dean Kramer, number 87, Colin Ray, number 88, Jose Quintana, number 89, Brandon Fott, number 90, Eduardo Rodriguez, number 91, Jansen Junk, number 92, Taj Bradley, 2 first names, number 93, Logan Allen, 2 first names. What's the tier called and why is it called that?
I would say this is the Fantastic Four. Because they kind of show up every so often and like, all right, like we're a thing for a moment. And you're like, yeah, it's probably just for a week. And now all of a sudden, oh, wait, we're focused on them right now because the movie's coming out. And is this really going to be a thing that we actually latch onto? Probably not.
Probably not. Yeah, probably not. Sugano has a great 2-start week this week. I was interested in him. Dean Kramer. We've seen Dean Kramer do this in the past where puts up solid numbers for a stretch. He is a totally useful deeper league pitcher. Brandon Fott is all the rage right now because people are like, oh, he's using the cutter and he's getting outs against lefties. And I kind of feel like we've seen him do this before where he has some good starts and then but he's not, I don't believe that he's a different pitcher, I guess.
Well, what's interesting is the next start's a real test because it's against the Astros. And when you're talking about the cutter being a big difference maker, well, guess what? They throw a ton of righties at you.
Yeah, they don't. They have
a poor spot to have the slider working. I'm sorry, the sweeper really, which hasn't been the overwhelming sweeper we saw when he first came up. So I don't know how that one's going to go. And I want to say that the cutter is the answer to everything, but it's not really for Fott. So, that's where I am.
I get it. To this last tier, but actually there's one name I want to talk to you about. But this tier starts number 94. Zach Gallen, number 95, Justin Verlander, number 96, Chris Paddock, number 97, David Festa, number 98, Brandon Walter, 2 first names, number 99, Sandy Alcantara, number 100, Hated Birdsong. What's this tier called and why is it called that?
Look, this is about something that you really want to work. You really want this to be good and successful and awesome, and it just hasn't been. So this is Howard the Duck.
Is he a superhero?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talk to me about 2 first names, Brandon Walter, because from a
Brandon Walter is like Colton Gordon, but he just has more things. It's just that he gets the Diamondbacks this week, and like, do you really need to hold on to it? Not really, but at least he has a full mix: fastball, changeup, sweeper, cutter in there, and he can jam right-handers effectively with that cutter and go down away with his changeup and decent fastball upstairs. But it's not really enough for me to say, oh yeah, you got to hold on to this. Definitely big breakout thing in the second half. It's just base it on the matchups, and it's just not a good one this week.
Yeah, that's true. The Diamondbacks matchup is not great. I like what Walter has been doing, but we'll kind of see if he can keep it up. Another piece of minor breaking news, but it just goes to this idea of Richard Fitz's security, is the Red Sox announced that Tanner Houck is shut down indefinitely after a recurrence of his flexor tendon soreness.
Bringing down the Houck. Oh my gosh.
So Tanner Houck, no, not remotely close at any point. There isn't really a sixth starter waiting in the wings for Boston right now. So it is definitely Fitz until, you know, they bring in.
Do they still have Cooper Criswell?
They do still have Cooper Criswell. Yeah. And I guess I am burying the lead of like, they did trade for Kyle Harrison, but they're still working on his pitch mix and tweaking, adding a cutter and tweaking some stuff like that. But yes, if they needed to, they could easily bring Kyle Harrison back up before they get him to a place where they feel like he's fully ready. But yes, that's just more safety and security for Richard Fitz, as we were discussing just a couple minutes ago.
And really, just at the end of this tier quickly, Justin Verlander looked much better than the line suggested against the Jays. The Jays are really good at home. He's going to get Atlanta this week, though, so fine. But he's over 95 miles per hour. He has good slider locations with his fastball locations. Like, that's what normally works for him. So I'm very curious to see how he performs there. And Chris Paddock took a nosedive because even though I kind of think he's good, it's been a little bit rough. It's not a good matchup this week. There's no need for you to actually hold on to this and roll with it. So that's just generally the rule. If it's a guy that I feel is somewhat replaceable and who I like when the matchup is right, I'd rather just go with a streamer this week. He's not going to be snatched up quickly in a 12-team where it's fine.
Yes. Agree with that strategy. And that's going to do it for us here on Monday, July 21st. I guess I will see you at a baseball game on Wednesday, my friend.
That's right. I'll see you there, buddy.
Hopefully I'll chat with you before and maybe I'll get some questions in then I got to figure out who I'm going to talk to. We'll see what we can do.
We'll figure that out.
Try to talk to Jose Soriano and figure out if he can let me know when he's going to have a good start or not.
Yeah, right.
Until then, I am Eric Samulski, the Pelican.
I'm Nick Pollack, the Lion.
And I'm going to go watch some episodes of Ren and Stimpy.